I am an autism mom. My son is almost 9 years old. And if I could go back in time, when he was a toddler, when he was a preschooler, and Christmas morning was started great and it ended up in meltdowns and throwing, and I don't want this, and not eating, I'm going to share with you what I would have done instead after 9 years learning how to raise a secure, emotionally secure autistic child. If you are new to me, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Parenting with Understanding podcast. This is your host, Marcela Collier. I am a certified parenting coach and founder of HIC Parenting Education Agency. My team of coaches and I have helped 14,151 parents break free from parenting frustration, bring peace to their parenting, and raise emotionally secure children. After this podcast episode, you are going to know what to do to avoid the most dreaded overwhelming meltdowns due to overload, sensory overload. If you have a sensitive child, whether they're autistic or not, if they are sensitive, they are very in tune with their environment and it could get really overwhelming. So, I'm going to share with you my story, what I would change. And there are basically three things. If I think about it, if I could go back in time and do it all over again, it would have been a different story for me and my son. He would have felt so much joyful, connected, and having as much fun as his twin for a longer period of time. If you've been listening to the Parenting with Understanding podcast for a while, my encouragement for you is to leave us a positive review. If you keep coming back, that means that you are getting what you want, that you are getting information, inspiration, transformation. So go to your podcast feed, open the description, and leave us a positive review, hopefully a 5-star review. That will help us get to more parents. So, number one, what could have I done if I could go back in time? I was reviewing the old videos, the old Christmas morning videos when my twins were 1, 2, 3. And I remember a very specific video when they woke up and there was a big train table on on the hallway. Like it was like you leave their bedroom and it was kind of right there at the end of the hallway. That was one of the Christmas presents that we could not wrap because it was too big. And then I remember being so excited about the twins discovering that big train set. They got up and I said, guess what? My excitement started, was the start of the end for my son, for my autistic son, my own excitement. Santiago, Miguel, guess what? Go to see what's in the hallway. And they went to the hallway and then they found this big train set. My neurotypical son, he got into it. He started playing with the Leo train tracks. He started playing with the Leo different figurines. And my autistic son, that was a different story. Why? Because he's very routinary, he's very literal, he expects the same thing every single day. And that was not part of the same thing. It was a different thing in the middle of the hallway, blocking the entrance. He took one of the Leo train tracks and he threw it to his brother. And it hit the brother's head. And that was the beginning of a morning of meltdowns and fights and struggles. So if I could go back in time, I would make the routine a little bit more predictable for my autistic son, even in the unpredictability. Because of course, my other son deserves the excitement and the surprise, but I would have handled differently. I would have told my autistic son, giving him a little heads up, you're going to find a big present in the middle of the hallway. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play with it. You can go right to the couch, and your milk is there waiting for you every single morning. When they were little toddlers, they would wake up, go to the couch, drink their milk while I work on the breakfast. So I would have kind of like show him that he could still be that predictable. He could still have his morning routine. He didn't have to join his brother in the Christmas magical surprises. Number two, I would have slowed down. I remember that morning we opened presents, and Santiago, I was watching those videos. Santiago, the whole time, he cried from beginning to end. He cried from beginning to end. And right after that, my in laws came. And right after that, we did something else. And right after that, we went to the park. Like we wanted to do all these exciting, fun things because it was Christmas morning. But then I was not aware of my son's needs. I was not aware that this could be too much. This could be too much for him. And it was too much. He was telling me through his behavior that it was too much for him. If you have a daughter or a son who has frequent overwhelming meltdowns, like meltdowns that you know is because they're overwhelmed, that's just a sign of, Mom, Dad, this is too much for me. It's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong or you're not responding the right way. I said because a lot of us special needs parents, when we see our children struggling with big behaviors or big emotions, a lot of the times we tend to blame ourselves. What am I doing wrong if he keeps crying? Nothing wrong. They're just communicating to you that the environment might be too much. So I would have slowed down. I would have slowed down. That happened as well. And this is not part of a Christmas morning story. This is one of our clients. He used to have a lot of bedtime struggles with his daughter. And I remember when he came to coaching, he said, we do all the right things, at least all the right things that we were told from social media posts and Google and books. We lower the lights, we lower sugary snacks, we we do this, we do that, we read books, like we they do all the steps that books tells us of how to have a perfect nighttime routine. And the daughter still had the meltdowns, and it was still the struggle. It was still like they couldn't get through their daughter. And then once he learned that it wasn't about the things that he does, but it was more about how she felt with him, how connected he was, how assertive he was, how regulated he was within himself, how well he managed his emotions. She started feeling a lot more peaceful and calm at bedtime, and things stop being such a struggle. And this didn't take that much. In the first week of coaching, he was already giving us big, big report of the great things that he found once he started letting go of what everybody says is right to do at bedtime with our kids, and when he started connecting right with what his daughter needed. I wanted to play here what his story so you can hear directly from him. With total commitment, and then she pulled away and she said, "You're sweet, Daddy," and then she went to sleep. And how did you feel? I felt, I don't know the English word, but like everything came together. What's the Dutch word? Uh, phew. um, yeah, I don't know. It's probably not just one word for us. It's when everything aligns, and yeah. Sometimes when I think it's when everything feels right. It just felt right. It felt like it was how it was supposed to be. It was what I've been chasing for a long time. And, yeah. So that was his testimonial. And that happened not because he found another tool or not another thing to do when he became a secure parent. If you want to raise your children with peace, the change starts with you. And if you're ready to start, I have a free class to teach you the same system that Marcus applied to become a secure parent. This system is in my free class that you can access right now at hicparenting.com, hicparenting.com, or you can open the description of the podcast. If you're watching from YouTube, the description of the YouTube video, or it's somewhere here on a card app here if you're watching from YouTube. And you can access right now a free class where you're going to learn 4 skills to become a secure parent so your children can feel your safety, your security within you, and start cooperating and feeling a lot calmer next to you. That is possible. That is possible. And that's the third thing that I would do differently. When my son was having the meltdowns and the big behaviors in Christmas morning, I was more concerned about not upsetting my mother-in-law, about how I would look in front of my sister-in-law, than really focusing on helping him with his needs. I was more focused on how embarrassed I felt others seeing my child melting down that way, because somehow I thought that could mean like they might be thinking I wasn't doing a good job as a parent. Did you feel the same sometimes? Let me know in the comments if you're watching from YouTube that when your special needs child is having a challenging moment, a meltdown, and then you see your relatives, you see your mom or other people looking at you, do you judge yourself? Of I wonder if they're thinking I'm a bad parent. I don't know what it takes. I don't know how to control my child. If I could go back in time, I would have changed that. I would have extended compassion to myself and I would have fully focused on my child. So these are the 3 things that I would have done if I could go back to that Christmas morning when my autistic son has such a hard time being regulated, staying calm, and enjoying Christmas. I would have prepared him beforehand and tell him that he doesn't have to join the surprises. He can just go on with his routine. I would have slowed down, taken it at his pace, and I would have been a lot more compassionate towards myself, not focus on what others think about me, but fully focus on helping my child and meeting their needs. If this podcast episode helps you go into Christmas morning confident, secure, and knowing that you are the parent that your child needs to have, would you share it with a friend? Share it right now with a friend. Now that if you are listening, the day is aired. This is Christmas Eve. So tomorrow is Christmas Day. So share it right now with another friend, hopefully a friend who has a special needs child or who is raising a sensitive child, and let them know, hey, this could help you feel a lot calmer and your child feel a lot calmer tomorrow in Christmas Day. Remember, it only takes understanding of yourself and of your children's needs to change your parenting to raise secure children. I'll see you next time.